Ensuring that your machine has properly filtered and softened water is vital to ensuring its longevity. Today, I'll be guiding you through setting up our water filtration and softening kit. First, we need to get our direct water line. If you already have a water line ready for your espresso machine, you're set. If you plan to tee off of an existing line from your sink or refrigerator, you'll need this angle stop valve we've included for just that purpose. Remember to leave the angle stop valve closed until we're finished assembling the kit. Next, we'll thread this piece with 2 valves to the outlet end of the cartridge. Once threaded on, ensure that it's pointing down so that the valves are easily accessible. Now it's time to mount the cartridge assembly. Remember that it's important for the cartridge to remain upright once installed. It's also good to leave enough space below the bottom of the cartridge so that it can easily be unthreaded and replaced. Using hardware appropriate to your mounting surface, mount the assembly to the wall so that it's close to level. The next step is to begin connecting everything with the included 3/8 inch tubing. It's important to make sure the tubing is cut properly. Don't use scissors or any other tool that might crush or flatten the tubing. Use a sharp razor or specialty tubing cutters to produce clean cuts at a 90-degree angle. When cutting tubing to length, it's also important to ensure there's enough length to allow for some slack. Any tubing that is crushed, improperly cut, or too tight could result in leaks. When inserting tubing into these push connect fittings, you'll want to firmly press the tubing into the fitting and then give it a tug. This tightens the fitting around the tubing, ensuring a tight seal. Connect the angle stop valve or your water line to the water softener inlet. This is the opening on the left side of the cartridge. Now, using a short segment of tubing, connect this horizontal outlet to the inlet side of the pressure regulator, which has its inlet and outlet marked on the back. Connect another length of tubing to the outlet of the pressure regulator. This will lead to the braided line on your espresso machine. Lastly, connect a length of tubing to the downward-facing valve on the cartridge's outlet. This will serve as our bleed valve, and the line will allow us to direct it into a container or drain. Before use, we need to flush 3 to 5 gallons of water through the filter. To do this, we'll close the inline shutoff valve that leads to the espresso machine, but leave the bleed valve open. Now, with the bleed valve tubing in a container or drain, open the angle stop valve to allow water through the system. Once 3 to 5 gallons have been flushed through, close the bleed valve and open the inline valve to allow water to head to your espresso machine. Before you run off to pull shots, now is a great time to check for leaks at all the connection points. If you find any, shut off the water at the source and try reseating the tubing that's causing the leak. With all that out of the way, you're clear to start playing with your espresso machine. As a final note, we recommend using the included water hardness testing strips to test the water coming from your filter on a quarterly basis. This is because the rate at which the softener depletes is directly tied to your specific water hardness. If you find that water hardness reading is starting to creep back up, it's time to pick up a new cartridge.